Well, good morning, everybody. How we doing? All right, Brandy, how we doing? Good morning.
Good morning.
We need to focus on me.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's nice. Okay, I'd like to introduce you to a couple people as we start broadcasting our new room and classroom and everything else. First, I want to basically, our engineer and operations manager is Eric. You can't see him. He's back there. Okay, we have Nicholas, who's IT guy, social media, everything else. So if it's wrong or typed wrong, it's his fault. Okay, we have Santos, our vice president of our company. Come on up here. So come on and please show the people who you are. You can put the face where the voice is a lot of times. Okay, we have Brandy, who is our floor manager. Okay, as we're trying to accomplish goals. Okay, they're here to support you. Okay, and I'm here to make you happy and piss you off at the same time. Okay, Lewis has known me for years. He talks different than he used to talk. Okay, he's got his act together now. But sometimes I think I made him mad because I push him. Okay, is that okay if I push you guys sometimes? Absolutely. Okay, you see, you're all trying to accomplish a goal. Okay, so let's let these two go to work to help support other people and make a lot of money today.
You guys have a wonderful day.
Okay, if you need anything, they're here to help to support you. Okay, but let's understand, we're trying to achieve a goal that you have not achieved 100% yet. Okay, the average client right now is 35 to 75 years old. And you fit in that bucket right now, correct? I believe you've been basically told one thing or another, and you follow this way, you follow that way, and it's like you're just like all over the place. I think the problem is the knowledge, rules, and tools, and basically you're off balance. Okay? If we could give rules, tools, and balance you, can we accomplish the goal? That's what we got to think about in our head. And remember, it's always a mindset. We have to understand what we're mentally trying to accomplish. Okay? At the end of the day, all right, today, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, our goal is to position people. That means that basically one thing simple. I'm going to take one of my 1 through 10 businesses, and I'm going to say, you get to play with me, if you want to. Okay? As Lewis, I can talk about you, right? I don't want anybody to get mad or anything else. You know, if you don't want me to tell the story a little bit, let me know. Lewis screwed up American Express before. Okay, but he sits with 4 cards now. Okay, now why do I want American Express? Okay, you got to get in your head. We're going to go through this 100 times this weekend. Okay, it doesn't basically fluctuate. You jacked up your wrong cards. You know that the moment you hear it enough and again, understand, you need to hear something 8 times. 8 times to hear it, to understand it, then to apply it. When you go to apply it, then it's like, what do I do next? You have questions, okay? If all of a sudden we get to A to Z, okay, and we go from A to Z, and I say, okay, here's a Wendy's restaurant. All right, here's a storage unit, okay? Here is a McDonald's. Now, our thing is this. We're going to talk about different types of loans and all this other crazy stuff, but I like putting cash down. I don't like what I call crap loans. DSCR loans are okay, but again, I'd rather put cash. If I can put 20% down on something, I can get financing, okay? I got seller financing. There's all kinds of things we can do. But again, let's say this is a $2 million project, $2 million, and we have to put $400,000 down on it. That means how many clients would it take to put into that project? Okay, how many clients want to basically do all 400,000? 200,000, how many clients want to do a piece of it, okay? The project, for instance, basically brings us $17,000 a month, okay, after all bills. So if we add more people, they get less money, okay? Everything's math, everything's numbers, okay? I believe most of the clients have been ripped off by friends or family, or something got screwed up and they got in the wrong direction. You're going to hear things from me that you're going to have somebody argue with you. You're going to hear something from me, and I'm going to tell you do it this way, that way. Your CPA and attorney will have their own opinion. Okay? I like putting them on the phone. Okay? Why? Because I can correct their silliness. Let's understand, the world should understand division process, and they do not. That's the saddest thing I've seen after all these years. I created it in 85, 86. It's like 17 years ago, I got all your corporate applications to put DBA on the application, and nobody knows what it's for. It's like Crazyville. So we got to figure out, okay, is it the coma? Is it the pandemic? Whatever slowed it down. How do we connect dots? Okay? So again, foundation is key. So projects are what I want you to think about. Okay? So let's go to the presentation. And what happens is based on the project we want to do. We're going to cover everything. My biggest problem is they're trying to get me not to show as much and talk more. In the past, it was show more and talk less. Okay, it's all based on the age group and everything else as we go through this process. So again, as you know, Eric goes through the slides, we're going to talk about topics. Now, in the beginning, I'm going to want everybody online and here because you know we're going to basically, between now and the next 3 days, sell you something. Let's cut to the chase. We're going to say, what pieces are you missing, right? So we cut right to the chase. So I'm going to want you to take pictures of what we would offer this weekend for you. Make sense? Okay, now everything I obtained was a pain in the tush. I mean, it's not easy. It's crap. Every time we do something, it's like we're fighting to do the project. If we look at basically like for here, all right, and we look at a condo, we look at a house, we look at a boat or a car, what happens is that's a project. Is it easy? No. So let's take a picture of Yelp. Okay? So everybody online or here, if you would, all right, well, I have a problem. Here's my problem. I'm Ray Reynolds. They called me the Godfather of Credit and KNX Radio years ago. All this silly stuff. All right, over the years, I had 12 people give me a bad time. Couldn't get them to fix it. All right, I will help the devil if he shows up. All right, that's just me. I'm going to help everybody who can. But again, when somebody screws up the program, isn't my fault. If somebody runs their credit and crashes a rapid rescore, I have to reload history and everything we just did. So it's very concerning that we're making scores go up. Scores are what you're measured by. You're measured by a number. Okay? Your number, when the beginning began your Social Security number. You were told, literally, to get an SSN. We got to go through that. Because I don't think you understand the SSN, how you're bonded for $35 million apiece. I don't think you understand how that's the IRS connecting the dots with you and don't tell you anything. See, what happens in today's world, nobody wants to teach you anything. Or they know this little piece. I need the whole pie. Okay? I need somebody who can answer this question, that question, and I can get results. Okay? I don't have magic wands, but I tend to have all the results. Okay? All right, God gave me a lot up here, and I always had to study for things that I wanted to do. So the 12 people not being nice to me, but I look at it this way, I've always said, not everybody likes me, nobody likes you. Okay? There's always somebody going to say something negative about you. Okay? It's just life. So if you can put a review and say something nice, do it. If you want to put bad stuff, don't do it. It's simple. Okay? All right? Well, everybody who remembers the bad never remembers the good. It's our lives, and it's sad. It is. So if we can go to the next slide, let's understand. I want you to understand what I want to get you to. Okay? Every one of your pockets, purse, or wallet should have a stack of this. Okay? Stack. Okay? And in the beginning, you think I'm nuts. All right? In most cases, well, why do I want more personal credit? I already screwed it up. What would I do that with that? Without that score and positioning, I can't get more. So I have to position credit and understand it, okay? Every one of you should have 9 divisions, okay? Because that's 9 opportunities. But let's understand the division process. 1984, all right? Government sent me over to Spokane for 2 years. I went over to Utah for 3 years, come back around through Berkeley and all this crazy stuff, and I was in a government program that no one's supposed to talk about. It's because when you're an orphan, they don't care. I don't know if you know this. In the 70s, they grab orphans and people who don't have families, and they put you through education, use and abuse you. And when I tried to sign up for the Air Force when I was 16, they caught me because I was already in a program. Not very fun. I did not want to pay franchise tax fee. I want to pay as much tax as I have to. Okay? Not because you want to charge me more, but how much that I have to pay. Okay? In other words, California. $800 a year. Okay? I had at one time 18 Shakey's Pizzas. Okay? Barry Baskin and the Baskin family and Whittier were friends of mine. I knew them for years, and I had a bunch of 31 flavor ice creams. Okay? So all these things, donut stores, all these pieces, That means every one of these things, which is what they're doing on TikTok, YouTube, and Google, have all these LLCs. I don't understand, stupid. I'm sorry to be honest with you, I don't. A corporation is on Secretary of State's website. Your name is there. You're the officer. If they sue the corp, they're going to sue you. All right, you're going now through the rabbit hole. You ever been through a deposition? They treat you like you're guilty. They want to talk to your friends, your family. They want to just tear you apart because they're looking for money. And that's a sad thing. So again, my process for me is I didn't want to pay $800 per every corporation. Based on my matrix, okay? And let's understand, to this day on Beach Boulevard in Lamson, you can see Masashi Martial Arts store. I started in the 80s. It just shut down about 2 years ago, okay? All right, it's been there since the 80s. Behind that's a mobile home park. Every mobile home was a division. But again, all these pieces, because I'm running. Now understand, cities. If you're in construction, you need a business license for every city. Is that correct? Okay. They want you to have a business license. If you're a division under a corporate license could be for the state only. I had 22,000 payphones. Every payphone who needed in a city who needed a business license. Do you understand that? So if I added all that up, it's like I'm $100,000 a month for franchise tax fee. So I was really fighting against, I don't want to pay that. Why would I have to pay that? When I was a kid, I kept focusing on 17900A3. 17909A3. It bothered me when I saw that on that page. Not required to file fictitious business name. As a person, I'm allowed to file a fictitious business name for me called sole proprietor. So if I wanted sole proprietor, I could do that. That's okay. But why did it say not required and ding me options? That's where my brain stopped. I kept thinking something was wrong, something was wrong. So when we look at things, I can think, okay, A, I don't want to pay a franchise tax fee. I was given an opportunity in Sacramento, California. That's where it all started. And they had a fictitious business name. It said husband, wife, and partner. That's all it said. Husband, wife, and partner. Well, that means I'm doing business as me. If they sue me, I still sue me. It's like someone saying I have bad credit. Well, you have bad credit. Now you're not willing to get more credit because you had bad credit because the reality is still bad is bad. It's like it's like a mental thing. You got to get past that. So I turned the form in. All right, it's been modified 5 times, and that form became a division process. Okay? I got the application 17 years ago to put it on every application, and nobody understands it. You will talk to your CPAs and attorneys. They will not understand it. They will tell you why you do this. You don't need that. You don't need that. I've had clients with $1 million of credit, and their CPA wants to shut down all their divisions. And each division had $100,000 in credit. They didn't understand it. They didn't understand what's called a compiled tax return. We go back to husband and wife. We file a what, joint or separate. We can add our kids to our tax returns. So that's the thing we got to look at. LLCs, everybody pushes them. That's why they came up with the BOI Act. Because the Treasury Department says, I want to see behind the peekaboo. And then they said yes, said no. It's like now it's no. Okay, all right, make up your minds. Biden wanted everybody to be audited through the 1120s. One of his statements when he became president years ago was, I want to go after all the 1120s that were not filed. When I talked to a client, I said, have you filed your 1120s? Half of them say, what's that? See, you have been depending on your CPA and attorney to do something for you. All right, and the difference is they didn't teach you anything. And sometimes it just comes out, you didn't learn diddly squat. But again, sometimes that's a shock. Okay, what did he say? All right, we have to understand this ourselves. We cannot rely on tax attorney and CPA. We have to understand it for ourselves because we need to question them. I question everybody who has authority and knows anything. I want to talk to someone who's highly intelligent. And then I find out you don't know this, you don't know what who are you now? You always go, backwards a little bit. So what we have to focus in on is this here ability is an American Express card. Okay? Why do I push on it? It doesn't fluctuate. So that means if you, as you go through this process 1,000 times, you get it here 8 times, the next 3 days, 8 times, you're going to understand that card will not go up and down on your credit score. We have a free ride to maintain 29% in all the American Express cards we can. Because that American Express card does not fluctuate, so therefore your score never goes down. If you have bad credit out there or here, you use the wrong damn card. You didn't understand rules and tools. You used the wrong card, and now you brought your score down. Now, if you're lucky and you never did that, okay, that's great. Now, where are you going to go next? So when we look at a pack of 10, that means if I get a corporation, and I tend to get paid overtime limits up to $80,000, $90,000, average could be 50, whatever it might be, and I take that card, I'm offered to get a courtesy card, division card, an expense card, employee card. So let's think about authorized user. Everybody knows you can have an authorized user on a credit card. What that does is it kind of messes everybody up. You're making the payment, it's helping their credit maybe a little bit. Now they want the card, and the card's in their way. Okay, I've had so many clients, well, I can't get their card. It's because you're an authorized user of the same card. Why on my own? Until you disconnect yourself, authorized user, they're not going to give you your own card. So again, mindset. No one's teaching you what you need to know. We are learning life defense. Okay? It is basically the defensive circle that I learned as a kid. Okay? It is a line of defense. All I know basically as a kid being a janitor for a karate studio, Chuck would say basically if they, you know them, hug, love, all right, sit back and get ready to kill. It was hug, love, or kill. So we were taught. Hug, love, or step back and kill. You're fighting for your life. It's the same thing with credit. If you don't have your social right, you don't have your tax return right, you don't have your score right, you're screwed. You're so messed up, you don't know what to do next. So we got to, in our minds, go, okay, a corporation is a legal what? Person. It's a legal person of flesh? No, it's a law. This is flesh, but I'm a legal person. I hurt and I bleed. Corporations have no feelings. But again, a division has the ability to separate liability. When I created the division process in the 80s, I was just wanting to give a franchise tax fee. I had no idea it'd have 89 other ways to play with it. We look at that window right now, and guess what? Every business should be a division. It should never be a corporation. I mean, every business should be a division. But then mentally we go, what about the Bank of America? They have a branch, all right, which is a corporation owned by a corporation called subsidiary. When they bankrupt that location, they take the assets and the money and they wipe out a 100-year what? Lease agreement. So they're wiping out debt. We look at a city, they created a Chapter 9 bankruptcy. We've had 11 cities file bankruptcy so far. They file bankruptcy to wipe out their what? If we wipe out our debt, we're screwed up. We got one chance social, one chance to do it, and if we got it screwed up, we're screwed up. So we got to understand how to rebuild, okay? It's not just writing silly letters for a dispute process. It might be negotiating with the debtor. What I feel about credit repairs, I hate it, I always have. I want to rebuild you. I feel when you don't pay your creditor, you stole their money. I feel you're a crook. That's just my feeling. We went through bad times, okay, let's go back and let's see if we can negotiate something. Let's try to be honorable. But that's just my feeling when I look at these things. I want to pay the debt. Okay, but again, sometimes it's better to forget it and go on. Again, as we look at the pack of 10. So I want you to take a picture of that, every one of your phone in here online. All right, understand, do you want a pack of 10? If we take that card as $100,000, or it's unlimited times 9 more, does that build $1 million of credit? It does. Okay? So having a stack of these or in books or organization makes sense. The problem with every one of you, online and here, you didn't have the money to go get the honey. The other thing is you didn't understand how to do it anyway. And you're throwing the dice. You're doing this, what is going to work, going to work? You could be making all the money in the world, but the reality is, and still you focus. Linda's great. She's online. Linda and Dwayne, they're good people. Been a client since 1986. You've met Linda many times. Okay? Linda screws up. I made her a millionaire, multimillionaire. She says 5 times, I think it's 8. But she doesn't finish the blueprint. She told me this last 2 years she's going to finish the blueprint. What is the blueprint? Okay? Auto income. Linda does $50 million projects. One of the top people in homeless. All right, other states as well. Takes a Hyatt hotel, converts it to military retirement, and gets $1,700 per 110 units monthly. Is that good or bad? Good. That's auto income. If she does other projects, her problem half the times, she's doing nonprofit. Nonprofit pays less, pays not as fast. I used to help clients with Disney. If you ever walk through Disney, the voice of Disney, that's Bill Rogers. I got him the gig years ago. Okay, him and his wife. But again, what happens? All right, her problem is she does projects and makes a lot of money. What happens when the project changes every 6 years? Business changes every 6 to 7 years. You can do whatever you want. If you own 25% of a Wendy's restaurant, will you have auto income? If you own 25% of a storage unit, would you have auto income? If you own part of a gas station. See, I always wanted boring and steady because guess what? It's no flash. All I want is income coming in. And helping in part of 44% of storage units at one time in California was fun. They're easy, ran by a third party. So do we need the 10 cards? Well, I don't know. Do you want auto income of $5,000 a month or do you want 10? Do you want 20, you want 30? 30. So if we start with one unit and one something or another, where we put 4 people in it, we probably get $4,000 or $5,000 a month. Now 6 months later, it's going to go up because we're building reserve. I will not partner with anybody online or here unless we build a reserve. Okay? We do not know what's going to be ahead of us. But I also build a reserve for 2 reasons. One, we need it as safety, and the next thing is I want to leverage it. I want to leverage it into millions of dollars. Everyone in this room or online, you've had 20,000, 50,000, 100,000, and you pissed it away. You didn't know what you're doing with it. You should have referenced 3 times 5, and you would have had $1.5 million of 100,000. We take $100,000 today and do everything I tell you to do, reference 3 times 5, that's $1.5 million. $1 million what? 5. But that's borrowed what? Money. Come on down. What is borrowed money? What is borrowed money? No, you got to fight for this. What the hell is borrowed money?
Liability?
Borrowed money is not taxable. Okay? See, your problem with all of you right now, you're guaranteed stuff for the corp, which I hate. They pierce the veil to come get you. Okay? We're going to get you to the point you have a division of you that guarantees everything. So you can afford to lose a couple of those. Wouldn't it be terrible? Like I used to bring my cat, Sam Reynolds, the cat, with credit to the Bonaventure with me, showing $1 million of credit. Inc. magazine writes an article about me. That's great. Fantastic. Use plastic to finance your business. I took a damn cat, and I had 9 divisions under basically a corporation. Why did I do it as a stunt? Because the goal was, they say cats have 9 lives. I wanted to match what people think, right? They got 9 lives. I got 9 credit cards in a corporation. What do I have? $1 million of credit. Don't be afraid of credit. Be afraid of what you haven't done so far. Be afraid of what you have not done. Because what you have done is you have not put all the pieces together. Okay? I'm going to give you all the pieces and connect you. But do I want $5,000 a month? Or do I want 10? If one project got you, and let's understand, we took corporate credit and we put into a project and we could afford the payment, we maintain the payment, and now we get an income after an escrow. If we use $5,000 credit on American Express, it's $50 a month. Do you waste $50 every other day? Yes or no? Yes. You waste $50 every other day or so. What you waste, you could afford that payment, could you not? Yes. If we could balance the knowledge, rules, and tools, we can gain the goal. So we come to corporate cards, personal cards, and putting it together. I want every one of you to have a division that creates $10,000 a month. Then I want you to decide, do I want 1, 2, or 3, or do I want to do it again and again? Okay? Now, we had a program years ago that Linda was part of a client in the 80s. It was called Eagle's Nest. Eagle's Nest, I built all these nonprofits, and they went nationwide and all kinds of fun stuff. At the end of it, I was going to be the administrator, and all of a sudden, well, Ray, we know enough now. I was kicked to the curb from my own project. Okay, they did their own thing, no problem. All right, 80% of them failed. Do you think the leader or the knowledgeable person can keep you going versus failing? Okay, all right. Clients have been clients for 40 years, 30 years, because it works, it works, it works. But sometimes it doesn't work. All right, the frustrating thing is I don't have a magic wand. You screw up or I screw up. Together, if we can fight through the pain, can we make it work? It's not easy. Magic wands don't exist. So get in your head, American Express does not fluctuate, and we want 10 of those. 10. We want one per division. Okay, one per division. So, again, I want you to take a slide. So, do you want the 10? All right, let's go to the next one. Our goal is to make sure we master this. I want you to take a picture of this. The reason because I want to do things for you if you have not done your divisions and give them away. Okay? So this literally gets you divisions at $99. Usually they're $1,000. Usually we add history, we do tax IDs. In this event, the goal is, okay, if you're missing any pieces, fill in your pieces. If you don't get your pieces, how do we run? Okay? I have a nice client, she got 4 divisions. Okay, we ran out of divisions because we have to now wait for their 2 years old. What did I say? They're not, what? 2 years old. Okay, how old does a corporation have to be to get a line of credit at the bank? 2 years. How fast do I want my divisions to be 2 years? Okay, because if the divisions are 2 years, I'm going poppity, poppity, pop. I've got to wait now till basically June of this year for her other divisions to age. Chase Bank said, no, they're not 2 years old. Sorry, they checked it online, there it is. Okay, we have to age to get credit 18 and above usually. Divisions, corporations don't need 2 years. So if you're missing a piece, get your piece. Okay, go to the next one, please. Now, I want to make sure you understand what it takes to build credit. Dashboards has 62 million of history. Okay, somebody goes after a card last week. They got it basically at Barclays. They got $500. I said, can I reapply for it? I did Barclays, I got 25,000. Does history on a dashboard help you get bigger limits? See, there's the key, okay, to rebuilding somebody. So again, how much does it take of credit to get into a project? 100,000. Why? Because out of that 100,000, I want 25 or 50 in escrow. Get in your mind, if your division goes into escrow with me, and it'll be a division, not the corp, I will not partner with you with your corp. I don't give a damn about your corp. Sorry, I don't. I care about the division. Because the division is going to be the duck. You never, 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 never bring the pain home. It's not acceptable, ever, when I repackage you. Okay? It's never acceptable. So the division process, I want 25 to 50 out of that 100,000. But you're connected to an escrow. That means you are part of the escrow. The escrow will be talking to you with the group, if it's 1, 2, 3, or 4. You're going to get escrow agreements. Okay? That means you're going to know everything's going on. Escrows are a pain in the butt. You ever been in one? Okay? They're a pain in the butt in business, they're a pain in the butt for a house. Everybody changes the rules in what you're doing in escrow. It all changes. What are you talking about? Escrow's in the 70s. Okay? 1974, people were basically using credit to finance to get a house. Fair Lending Act says you can't do that. In 74, we came up with gifted money. All right, I'm only 39 years old, but I've been around a long time. Amazing, huh? So we gave gifted money. That means grandma, brother, cousin, uncle, give me some money to close my escrow. They close escrow in the beginning, they look at your credit. During escrow or after escrow, look at your credit again. They're trying to make sure you didn't use your credit to close escrow. Okay, so gifted money is key to us. But unfortunately, silly people hire their friends and family to go through escrows. I like strangers. I don't use somebody I've used before unless I have a rapport. I don't use friends and family in an escrow ever. I'm sorry to tell you, I can show you where your family or your friend took advantage of you. Every time. They're salivating because you're dumb enough to hire them. Sorry, that's how it works. If you could basically help somebody, you want to help them, will you make sure you make a profit? Will you do it for free? Neither will they. So again, we can put people on their toes. An escrow means you're going to get connected to it, your division. Not your corp, your division. That means you're going to see the whole project go through the process and close escrow. The back of your mind, you're going to hear it a dozen times. We will give you this much for how many months? 6 months or until we build a reserve. Okay? Reserves are usually 3 to 6 months. We want a reserve in case we have a problem. Okay? Next thing is your monthly comes up again. Why do I want divisions on the same bank account? Why do I, out there and here, when you have questions, you basically will show you where to fax it and everything else. Why do I want the divisions on the same account?
Accountability.
Okay, not just accountability. I want you to think. Okay? Okay, age is not the issue. Okay?
So you can open up different lines under that business?
Average balance. Average what? Balance. So let's focus. Average balance builds lines of credit. Average balance builds what again? A line of credit. A line of credit says you must have an average balance $3,000 to $5,000 before I get you 50 to 150. If I go back to the 96 when I sued all the banks and they were beating the crap out of me, they're saying everything, I'm the worst guy in the world. I've been called that by organizations for years because I challenge them. The banks want you to have bank accounts for every division. Is that a lot of fees?
Yes.
Is that a lot of spreading your money thin?
Yes.
I'm trying to get to a balance, so I want what? Average balance line of credit. Okay? The thing you have to get in your mind is you don't need tax ID for a division yet. And this is where people screw up all the time. Well, I got to get a tax. No, you don't. Stop. You cannot have a tax ID for a division if it's on the same bank account, because they only allow one tax ID. I want the name on that bank. I want the what again? Name. If I daisy chain a card from the corp to the division, am I building history?
Yes.
Yes.
No, I already got history. I already gave it to you. What am I building? Score. Payment builds what? Score. So I can get more. Make sense? So we connect these dots and go through this 100 times. All right, by the time we're done with you in 3 days, your brain's going to be exhausted and go, I heard it 10 times. I know it now. Your CPA and attorney is going to question you. You don't need all those divisions. What the hell are you doing? Okay, I'm listening to Ray Reynolds. Linda's biggest thing was, with every CPA and attorney banker, okay, it's very simple. She'd say, Ray told me to. Ray told me to. I'd get a banker calling me and said, who the hell are you? My client's telling me Ray told me to. She's my client before yours. Why did she have $1 million in the bank? Because I got it there for her. So division process. Division what again? Process. If I'm on the same bank account, I'm building average balance. They're aging, yes, it's true. The age is based on the filing. Okay, filing. Banks, basically, it's like they promoted their tellers, so they didn't teach them anything. We have to connect the bank to the, how do you find divisions? And I mean, it can be called a marketing name. It can be called an entity. Okay, all these things. But understand, if Bank of America has a corporation and they have a branch number means separate tax ID. That's so what tax ID? That is a subsidiary. They bank up the location right from their taxes. I got a write-off. Corporations get away with everything. Consumers are screwed up. So why be you? Being you suck. Being us, it's terrible to be us. Everywhere you go, you can't drive a car unless they're going to bump your car and sue you and take it away. If you don't protect the house, the car, this, that's like, oh my God, look at all the stuff we have to do. You have to be an expert in all this at the same time, dealing with the world trying to beat you up. So again, what do we look at? Okay? This weekend, I want you to think, okay, take that picture out there, okay, and as you do these things, our goal is to say, okay, if I need 100,000, Ray Reynolds is saying it's $5,000, okay? Because I need 100,000. If I don't have 100,000, then I'm going to basically be nickel and diming it. I can't do that. I will not go into an escrow if you put yourself in a corner. I've had clients, well, Ray, I got that. No, stop. If we go through that escrow and using 90% of something, and we have a screw up or a delay, then you're going to get upset. Delays piss us off. Delays stress us out. Okay? We don't want delays. So again, we position it right. Okay? That's what we have to do. All right, we'll go to the next slide. I want you to win. This is how you get 200,000 for 7 grand. Take a picture. So this means I'm doing 100,000 for you and for the corporation. Okay? So what happens is, like anything else, here I can try to discount as much as I can because you need pieces. Like I said in the beginning, you know there's an event, they're always going to try to sell you something. Let's just cut to the chase. If we need a piece, we get the piece. If you don't need the piece, don't get the piece. Okay? We got to be honest. If you've known anything about me or get to know me, I'm honest and I'm blunt. And sometimes I should have more of a filter, but I don't. Okay? I just tell like it is. I don't plan what I say. I just say what I know. Okay? So as we go to the next one, that's that 100,000. Get in the back of your mind. Let's say you're short for that 100,000. All right, and we want another 50. Okay, I want you to take a picture. Get these things in your head. This is what I've told my team, this is what I'm going to do this weekend. Okay, you're nothing part of it. They don't have to worry about their commission or their base. Okay, so we're going to go as low as possible on anything you're missing pieces of. Okay, very crucial. Okay, all right, and next one as well. Now, this is what Linda did. Okay, Linda in 1986 came to a seminar, a workshop, got in something, no problem, and she was willing to spend $2,000. Now, $2,000 on a credit card, what's the payment? Okay, $200. Okay, do we waste that every other couple days? So we could finance the dream of the money we kind of waste away, but it's a write-off. Does that 25 have to go to personal or business? Is that 25 I'm putting to a division? Every card needs to be daisy chained. You got to focus on every corporate card. And I find clients that it's like they're stuck. Half the time, well, I taught you how to do it, then go do it. It reminds me of one of my biggest events. Okay? Got thousands of people. All right, here's how you do it, Dun & Bradstreet, and here's a phone. You see, we're going to do this. Okay? I called Dun & Bradstreet, no problem. Okay? We got a DUNS number. That's all you have to do. One hand comes up. We do it for me. What the blank? So the world's like, okay, I had to charge $100. Okay? Everyone stood up to throw $100 to get it done. So is it we're lazy, don't understand, or we're not comfortable? Okay? All the three of the above. But understand, a lot of times if we're partnering in something, I want to be on the bank with you. Chase Bank makes you go into the bank for a line of credit. Chase Bank's going to call the back room, which they could have did for your phone from home. Okay, so there's a new way of doing it. Okay, no problem. Chase Bank, I want you to put me on the phone with you. I want to be introduced as your attorney in fact, which means I have power of attorney. Okay, attorney in fact, or one of your CFOs. I want to talk to that banker. Okay, because for some reason clients are nervous or they don't know what to say. I give them the script and they still screw it up. Okay, I don't want them to screw it up. Right, Louis? Okay, so again, what is our goal? Okay, I have no filter telling them what to do. I'm not nervous about anything. Okay, that's not my nature. Okay, but I'm going to get what I want. They're going to give me 50, 100, 150. What is that called? Checkbook money. Okay, checkbook what? Money. But remember two things. Banks sometimes will give you a checkbook and a debit card. Or like a Navy, they'll throw it in your bank account now. Again, that money's due in 45 days. So be prepared. All right, if we don't do bridge loans or put it in escrow, we don't do it yet, right? Okay, I don't want you creating debt you cannot manage. Okay, I have clients, well, Ryan, no, stop, please. They want to do what they want. No, I don't want them to do that. I don't want to pull the Navy yet because you don't have the payment to pay it unless you put it in escrow or a bridge loan. You got to get someone to pay the damn thing back. Okay, and that's what we got to get to. It's like Robert. Robert, he's at the 800 score. I got him everything in the world, personal, business, everything else. We go to the bank, he's on the bank and on the phone. He tells me the corporation's 2 years old. Chase Bank says it won't be 2 years till next year in March. Did you not check the date? Okay, what did you just do to us? We lined you up. And here we have a problem. Okay, no problem. Thank you. Have a blessed day. There's no inquiry. Perfect. Robert, call him right after. You have two other corporations. I know one of them I set up 3 years ago. Why the hell weren't you building a line of credit to that one? Then I get this. I get it all the time. I said, stop. You heard it 1,000 times. I need to be 2 years old. Line of credit, division, corporation. Get that in your head. Okay? So there, if you need that 25,000, there you go. Okay? Again, other things we're going to offer. So, now let's think. Become an investor. I never wanted to run a business. You know, it's like I always think about the satellite business. I was one of the largest manufacturers of satellite television, Mexico and here in the world. Okay, I had NASDA, all right, National Association of Satellite Dealers of America. We're installing professional companies. All right, you go to one of our stores and we'd give you a flyer and we try to sell you. You didn't sell you, we give you a flyer. These are our competition. You had wholesale satellite in Whittier. You had Orange satellite. You had Riverside satellite. You had the Valleys and everything else. So everybody's installing 3 units a week if they're lucky. I'm installing 63 units a day because I owned all the damn stores. I owned all the stores. I drove you to my other store. That's the goal. Okay? Drive you to the other store so I get all the business. Okay? I will compete with myself in business. I will relabel it something else in business. I've helped companies, all right, filter into, they can basically have a marketing tool. Okay, I've looked at Rich and Famous and every company you can think of. I don't care if it's 1-800 junk. They were going bankrupt. He's walking away from the business. Someone came up with a weird idea. Why don't you partner with all the people that do junk around all 50 states and see if you can use 1-800 junk and become a marketing tool? That's what he did. I wonder who he listened to. Mike Diamond was a marketing for the smell good plumber. Okay, because in California you hear about the stinky plumber, Bubba. Okay, it's a marketing tool. Marketing is key. So, when I go after a business, I have 10 I love. If you're in California, you want EV charging stations. Our governor in California is an idiot. I told him that to his face. He didn't like it. He talks one thing and then goes to dinner with no mask when he's supposed to wear a mask. Gets caught. He's ruined our state completely. California is broke. They can't find the money they put in homeless 2 years ago. Billions of dollars. And they want to raise our taxes. I had the fire department come into our other location and they do a yearly inspection. Okay, no problem. We got a bill this time, $94. We never got a bill before. We have to help make up the loss in California. Why do I have to do that? I'm not the idiot that did it. Okay? I got to pay $2,400 more for homeless people, and you treat homeless like they're crap. Okay? No. We do nonprofit. We do hospice. We do all these things. We get those people. 80% of homeless are friggin' military. Get them off the damn ground. Let's take care of these people. Unfortunately, our government crap. So again, what do? EV charging stations. Great business. Laundromat's great. Okay? They're not going to get you rich. They're not going to get you rich. Don't get rich. I'm not going to get you rich. I'm never going to get you rich. I'm going to get a corporation with a division getting $5,000 to $10,000 a month. Okay? If you want to multiply that by 10, you have $1 million a month, $100,000 a month. Okay? That's not rich. Okay? That's a corporation making $1.2 million. You hear $100,000 a month. Oh, that's a lot. No. That's $1.2 million a year. That's it. IRS says $5 million below a small company. So we got to get this in our head to understand. Okay, $100,000 a month is nothing to do. All right, when it comes to business. Okay, I had 22,000 payphones, almost 6.6 million a month, and I'm still looking for more because it's a game. I treat it like a game. Dry cleaning. You know, it's amazing. Dry cleaning, they're on every other street corner. Is that correct? But they do it wrong. They do it wrong. Okay? Basically, 92. All right, one of my houses in Huntington Beach, the guy across the street, he is an engineer for Boeing. He lost his job. What happens when you lose your job? I can't talk for a woman, but I can talk for as a man. You lose your job, it's oh shit. I got how many months till I'm out of money? How much I pay the house payment, the car payment, take care of the wife and the kids? I'm in panic mode. I might not say that out loud, but I'm in panic mode. Okay? And I'm going, oh, shit. If I don't find another job that was taking care of me and they canned me because they shifted project to something else, I don't have auto income. What do I have? Oh, shit. All right, we're sitting there in his living room. I said, your wife has a new van. Yeah, I'm afraid I don't know how to pay that. All right, I'm going to run out of money. I said, why don't we turn that van into a delivery service for the hell of it? Okay? Wife comes out of the kitchen. That's my van. You're not going to... Okay, no problem, sweetheart. We're going to get magnet signs. Magnet signs. Okay? And we're going to put them on that van. Okay? All right? No problem. So we don't hurt your vehicle because it's your baby. We understand happy wife, happy life. No problem. It's the way it works. I said, what we're going to do is we're going to go to Santa Fe Springs. There's a company that does laundromats. They do dry cleaning. Okay? And this is Crown Cleaners, by the way, that started this. All right, in Huntington Beach. So we went and got the bags. All right, when you pick up and deliver, all right, here's a place that will clean them for you. So I want you to take these bags and leave them on 50 houses. That's all I want you to do. Okay? With your phone number on it. Okay? And I want you to put a tag, we pick up every Tuesday. Okay? You went back and the bags, how many bags were full? All of them. We pick up every what? Where are we going to be on Monday? We're going to be on Wednesday. You're not thinking this way, are you? You're thinking Tuesday right now. No, 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 no. Okay? No, no, no. It's 5 days. Nobody wants to be bothered on Saturday and Sunday. So we have to, okay, now what do you got? Well, my wife's complaining I'm using her van. Excuse me. Okay, I'm going to set you up a nonprofit. All right, here's what I have with exemption. Okay? We're going to get a free van, all right, literally donated from PLS Dodge. Anybody remember Pete Ellis Dodge?
Yeah.
Okay, over the news everywhere, Pete Ellis, Toyota, Pete, da 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 da. Pete, I need a van donated to the nonprofit, you get a full write-off. Delivered, painted, done. What did we do now? All right, before we had a location, we're picking up and delivering. Okay, he's making $100,000 a month. I want to go back to being an engineer for Boeing. Screw with him. His mindset, did it change?
Yeah.
Because he filled the gap of the money he needed. My point for a lot of that is you all do what you don't want to do. You go to school to do this or that, and you want to do this and that, and all of a sudden you go do this instead. You went to where it gave you the paycheck. 80% of people don't do what they plan to do in the first place. So again, what it is mindset, it changed because of income. So don't say dry cleaning is terrible. There's nobody doing a pickup and delivery service, all right, as good right now as they should be. Okay? You take a city with profit and nonprofit working in conjunction, you work with your basically Chamber of Commerce, and you get all the business. You offer for all the sports teams for the schools because they need their uniforms cleaned. Okay? Believe me, I can build a nonprofit and profit doing this today, making $100,000 a month. Getting vans for free through a nonprofit. So again, there's always a way to make money. Okay? Again, there's no reason to be lazy. Unfortunately, half the world, this world is lazy. So laundromat, no problem. Okay? So we look at different things like the donut store. Okay? Years and years ago, I used my first initial, all right, and my last name, and it's called DK's. Okay? It was basically first name, and all right, a girl I knew, her name was Carrie. You ever heard of DK Donuts? I started that. Okay? But it did terrible. We put a location over in Laguna Hills. I'm doing things at the Hawaii and all kinds of fun. It's doing terrible. Now, Carrie's gorgeous. All right? We put a sign outside the door of the donut place. I said, Carrie, I want you to stand on the street corner here. Okay? She goes, what do you mean, stand on the street corner? Okay, yes, you're going to hand donuts, and everybody drives by is going to hand you $10. Okay? For a box of donuts that costs $3. We don't give change. Okay? So again, she stands there, and we outsell the donuts. The kicker was, we didn't have a store. We didn't have a store. We bought the donuts down the street from the bakery. Okay? Create something out of nothing. We went to all the companies in Irvine, and we delivered donuts. We went to the front of the lobby, and we picked 30 businesses. They're the biggest ones. We have the donuts delivery. Where do we place it? Well, that goes by the coffee pot. We did this for a month. We left a flyer the next time and said, if you'd like to continue the orders of donuts on a weekly basis, please let us know. Who complained about donuts? Every employee wanted donuts. Do you understand? I built a route of donuts when I didn't have a store, and we sold them on the street corner. Okay? So nobody should have an excuse to making money. Okay? Today, if you stood on any main street here on the stoplight, we sell donuts, $10 a box, you're going to get your $10. Okay? Especially on the way to work. Okay? That's just a donut. Okay? If we picked them delivered, a right company, profit, nonprofit. Now keep in the back of your mind, I want every project to say you donate 10% back to your city and your schools, because the Chamber of Commerce will pay attention to you. If you don't do that, then you're just someone else. You're just falling in the gap. If we give 10% back to school, Chamber of Commerce, of all proceeds, okay? Now I didn't say net or profits, all right, or gross, I'm saying proceeds. Now, would that help us offset taxes? So everything we connect are dots. This is the mindset, connecting the dots. From the donut store, okay, to the satellite store, okay, to the dry cleaning, okay? I bought my first storage unit when I was 19, and my ex-father-in-law was Dr. Robert Soltis. He ran the LA school board for years and years. Ex-mother-in-law is Dr. Ruth, by the way, if you don't know who that is. Okay? So the reality is, we buy a storage unit. I'm 19. I put $60,000 in it. That was it. Okay? $60,000 to create, and I got $6,000 a month. Was it worth it? Sure. Okay? How long, now here's the math. How long did it take for me to get my money back? Okay? At the end of how many months? I now have a auto what? Income. But I didn't use my money. What did I use? Credit. Corporate credit, offset taxes. So it was maintaining the payment the whole damn time. Should we not maintain payment? Should we not finance everything we do? There's the mindset again. We have to understand we're going to use borrow money because it's not what again? Taxable. Taxable. All right. You watch Elon Musk buy Twitter for $44 billion. He didn't have the money in the bank. If he did, he wouldn't use it anyway. He borrowed against it, and then he changed it to X and laid off half the people and took a loss to offset taxes on something else. This is a game. This is a game. Play the game to win. Wendy's is one of my favorite restaurants. Okay? Not to eat, but to invest in. Why? Because they never go out of business almost. They never shut down. I like that. Jack in the Box, same thing. McDonald's is overpriced, too expensive. But again, we might partner and get a couple of those. I have 2 clients that got them, they're brothers. And they used to advertise on KGLH radio because Stevie Wonder owned the station. And they're clients all the time and fun. They say, Ray Reynolds got me my McDonald's, got my brother one too. It's just, it was marketing. That's the goal. But again, usually it's $2 million up front and $2 million in reserve. But again, that's pricey to me. I don't like that. I want to buy used. I want to buy something that's proven. So when we say partner, this is things in the future. Jack in the Box, good. Everybody wants those 2 tacos for 99 cents or $2, whatever. Okay, it gets you to buy that soda that's this big and it costs a lot of money, and guess what? They make money off you. And every time a car goes by, ka-ching, 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 ka-ching. So, storage units are boring, but it's my favorite. People are dumb. They take their crap from home, they put it in a storage unit, they pay a monthly payment, forget they got it there. By the time they take the crap out of the storage unit, they donate it to charity or throw it away. Do you understand this? This happens 80% of the time. All right, so it's like, this is like a dummy-proof business because all it is make money. I like money because it basically feeds the family. So again, as we go to the next one, think about auto income. You might do it with me or not, it's up to you. I like to play with clients because it's fun. Now, when we look at the auto income, what is our ultimate goal? I guess I need to be taller or a shorter board. One of the two. Well, here's a corporation, okay? Here's a corporation. This is me. This is you. What are we going to do? How do we do that? Division. What kind of division? How do we share it? How do we do this? How do we do that? So one of the things that happened in the division process, and what I write here, you should always write, by the way. You should copy me 100%. So the problem we had is I have two clients. They're brothers, blood brothers. We built them a $5 million company. Problem is, the one brother went and bought a Ferrari, $300,000. The other guy bought a Cadillac. Their argument is, you spent 3, I only spent 1, I went to 2. Okay? His other argument was, it's not my fault you bought that car. Who's going to win the battle?
Neither one of them.
They did. They destroyed a $5 million company. Okay? See, stupid happens to all of us. We can be stupid or they can be stupid. Is that correct?
Right.
Stupid is greed, need, and stupid. Okay? Need, greed, and stupid. Okay? Needy, greedy, and what? Stupid. We got to get past that crap.
That's right.
Okay? Because money, yeah, we got to make everybody happy. Okay? Try to make them happy. On this form, we're going to go through many times this weekend. You have a 4, a 4A, and a 4B. I put that there years ago. Problem with a lot of you, you basically do one thing. You want to, friends and family are going to have a partnership. No. I would tell everyone online and here, never do business with family or friend. Never in a million years. Okay? If it is a corporation in a division, okay. Because if you have that oh what day? Oh shit day, we can say bye-bye or buy each other out. We have to plan the problem. If we don't get that in our head, we're never going to win. We got to plan the problem before we do something. Because all of a sudden, we're not ready for it. And that's what kicks our butt every time. So all of a sudden, we have this entity. Your entity can be 4. This entity can be 4A. That's an entity owning an entity. Why do I use the word entity? Because it says it on the SS4 form. It says it where? Line 1, all right, you can create an entity or you, individual person. If I create an entity and I look at 17903 connecting the dots there, that's what solved the problem for the division process. Because if I have a corporation that files bankruptcy, that means I have to go into corporation bankruptcy court. Okay, difference is now I am the founder, I'm the CFO, all right, and I guaranteed everything, who they're going to attack. That's right. If I have a division and I play it right and plan the problem, can I disconnect, isolate, incorporate, and throw the bad piece away like the bank and the grocery store do? Yeah. We have to plan to fail to win. We have no choice, but we have to plan the problem. So when we connect dots here like a division process, I've been doing this since '87. My problem back then is I couldn't be everywhere at the same time. I like to run. I like to have 5 projects going on at one time. My wife always said, slow down, you walk too fast. Okay, that's fun, okay? But I like having projects. My computers, I say computers, on my desk, I have an average of 38 windows open. I'm working on all those every day. But that's just how I process. If I'm not working on all these projects, I'm bored. One thing I hate to do is be bored, okay? My wife wants me to retire. Honey, I'm not done yet. What do you mean retire? What am I going to do? Fat, ugly, and die? I'm going to watch TV all day? What am I going to do? I'm having fun. You know, I said, honey, you know what much fun is telling people what to do? It's the funnest thing in the world. You do it all the time. Isn't it true? Okay, so I get to play that way too. So we need to focus. If we partner in something, Santos, all right, now this is our new office. Okay, we've been here, what, 3 weeks now for Lucky? Okay, we're putting Humpty Dumpty back together again. Okay? All right, those signs, that sign hasn't been opened up for 20 years probably. Maybe 10. We opened it one time. Haven't seen it in a long time. So it's different things we're doing. I only got some pieces left in my life, all right, that was not stolen. So again, we got to figure out how we put it back together again. So again, office. We were in a closet, I call it, upstairs in the other building here for 3 years. That office is the sales room back there. It's the same square footage, and we shoved it all in there. So we got to basically understand we're putting it together. So as we do these pieces, who signed the lease of this building?
Division of a corporation.
Who guaranteed it?
A division of you.
Okay, but again, it's signed by Ray Reynolds Inc. But it's Ray Reynolds Inc. 101. I clone my own companies. If I have a legal identifier, that means a different part of the name in any form, I can separate a piece. If you have an apartment complex, all right, it's Mesa Wood Apartments, you have 400 units. You have Mesa Wood Apartments 100 through what? The lease is signed because the tenant's going to sue the landlord, right? If there's an issue, that landlord is separated by the division process. Does every tenant have to sign a lease? Yes. So therefore, what's wrong with changing the name or having different names on the leases? I don't know who's going to have a problem. If I plan the problem, am I protecting my assets? If I don't, they're going to take it away. So let's go to the next one from here and let's understand what our goals should be. All right, take a picture here. This is how you partner with us. So let's understand the details of this. This means simple, very simple thing to do. The goal here is $10,000 to $100,000 a month. How much are we going to usually get when we close escrow? Maybe $5,000, $4,000. What are we going to get as we go through the process? It's going to go up after we what? Build a reserve. We don't back ourselves in a corner. This is not to get rich. This is for a corporation with a division on the same bank account sharing average balance to get line of credit to buy more. Did that connect all the dots? Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Now the next thing you got to think about as you play this game is how do we create the different dots? It's division process. Now eventually your division will become a corporation. Your division will become a corporation when we get to $3 to $5 million. Until then, no. Okay? We don't need to be a corp yet. But if you have an LLC like half you do online or here, your LLC will become an S Corp. Your C Corp will be S, because I said so. Okay? Because I don't have to have any tax, almost no tax up to $3 to $5 million. When I create debt, I'll set taxes, I can go above that. A division, if it had converted to a corporation, the stock could be issued, right? If the stock's issued to an LLC in Nevada, who owns the corporation?
You do.
The LLC in Nevada. If all the proceeds go to Nevada, all right, you just break even here, where are you taxed?
In Nevada.
In Nevada, we have no state tax, no disclosure. Okay? 95, we have to go back and understand, in 1995, every credit card and bank was Delaware. They all were. 95, they decided to disclose, and everybody ran to Wyoming, Nevada. And that's what they did. So again, as we look at these things, Wyoming, it's kind of hard to open a bank account there without an address. Nevada, you can use a registered agent address to open a bank account. So there's certain ways you can position that. But again, I don't need Nevada Corp until I'm in the profit zone. Okay? You will have 3 to 4 corporations by the time we're done creating that $100,000 a month. Okay? 3 to 4 corps as we position. So the goal is, as we look at these pieces, number one, what do I need? Corporation. What state? I don't care. Incorporate in your own state. Don't circumvent your state because they get upset if you do. Okay? Next, I need 18 divisions. Why do I need 18? 9 to daisy chain and 9 to have different locations of something. Okay? Do you want to screw up the credit and the location at the same time? Or you want to get rid of the division that has a bad piece and keep the credit and keep going up? That's how you have 18. Okay? We're going to go through it many times. Personal credit. We have to manage it. We got to use that 29% rule. We got to make sure we understand gold and platinums do not what? Fluctuate. And we stay at 715 above. And there's no reason to go below. Okay? No reason at all. Corporation, why do I want 100,000 there? So I can daisy chain into the next divisions and divisions and divisions. And that's the goal as we do all this crazy stuff. So again, Summit is this while we're trying to connect dots. Okay? Coaching. Do I ever answer questions for you guys?
No.
No, I don't answer questions?
Call.
On the calls, okay. All right, on classes or webinars or else, does it help getting answers to your questions? Does it connect the dots? Especially when you get confused and other people give their opinions. You will get a lot of opinions from a lot of people. There's a lot of backyard lawyers, I will tell you. They got opinions. The end of the day, when you're driving a company car and get $100,000 a month, did it matter their opinions?
No.
We don't care. Okay? We fought through the pain. There's the goal. So again, in the future, do you want to be on that phone with you to your bank to basically push through that line of credit? That 50, that 150. Because as a CFO, I can do that with you, for you. I can also connect our bank accounts with you. Okay? I can show accounts that have millions and millions of dollars, or I can show one that has $500,000 a month. All they want to see is $100,000 a month. If we partner up in a division and we can show that, do they get you approved? The answer is yes. Because you're trading money. Now, if you're trading, you don't need me to do that part. But again, it's going to be up to you. What part do you need? So as we look at this, I said make a copy of it. It's very important. All right, escrow, we got to fight through. Goal is $10,000 a month. 6 months average. And then from there, we get up to the big as we build reserve. Now, I have 4 clients mad at me right now. They want to use the credit to go to the next project, and I told them no. Okay? Well, Ray, I want to do it your way, but I don't like your way. Well, too bad. Okay? Now, why would they be mad because I don't want to use the credit? I want to leverage the existing location. Okay? So let's focus if we go after a location. You're going to have to understand UCC1, and you're going to have to master that. That is the entitlement of ownership. Your house has a what? Deed of trust. Your car has a pink slip. So what owns the assets in this office? What owns the chair you're sitting at and the table? Okay, there is a debtor and there's a secured party. Who is secured party?
Corporation.
A different corporation. Okay, we're going to have 2 UCC1s. One is division to corp, so we can leverage that, and one from corp to corp. Okay? So when we buy a restaurant and all the equipment is paid for, the building is a lease, all right, can we use that equipment to buy the next one?
Yeah.
We leverage that into an escrow, so we don't have to use the credit, we use the credit for safety. Again, sometimes people want to just keep throwing money at something in credit. If we have to, we will. If we don't, we won't. So we have to understand leveraging asset, borrowing against, and creating debt. Your corporation is terrible, will probably be $1 million in debt. But you've got a $10 million company then. Is that okay if we're $1 million in debt? Offsetting the taxes and breaking even, isn't that terrible? You'll be breaking even while you get a paycheck or you get your K1 to decide your lifestyle. You'll be driving a company car. Now, there's certain things on TikTok that bother me. One gentleman says, if I have dinner with you and I cook and have a private chef, I can write it off. That's not true. Okay? So when you hear that guy say that, it's not true. Private chef, no, because you had it at your house. All right? You made it a private chef as a private dinner. Okay? It's not a fact that we had an event. There's a difference of event and we did something to try to offset taxes. There's a lot of BS out there, unfortunately. So let's go to the next one from there. So our ultimate goal is, okay, I wanted to get a situation how I can partner with people faster and quicker. A year of coaching with me is about 30 grand. People pay it all the time, no problem. I came up to Brandy and Santos and said, what if we did it for $10,000? Okay, and we do the calls, but they're going to partner with me. That means their commitment is to do a project with me. Okay, a project, so we get to that. Let's give them a discount so they get into the project. They get bi-weekly calls and they're going online and everything else we're doing. And that's the key thing. You're going to get stuck. You're going to get questions answered. And that's what the key is. So again, it's why you'll see like the partnering thing is like 1/3 of it normally is. Because I expect to make money out of you. Isn't that terrible? I am going to use you and abuse you, and you're going to do the same back to me. We're going to get to the point we get 100,000 a month. I couldn't be in 10 places at once. When I sent Santos to go after all the restaurants everywhere else, who do we have on the list to partner with? I got to a point I had more projects closing in escrow than had people in them. That's why I would always call them my soldiers. Who's next? Who's next? Who's next? Okay? I have a problem. I'm only one person and one social and one set of credit files. Corporations, divisions, I got all that. That's easy. But if I got a body of flesh and then go to the bank, you have no idea how more important it is to go to the bank with a real body. Okay, not just an entity. Okay? So gathering all the bodies to play made more sense. So understand the motivation of this. So, all right, let's go from there. So the main thing is, you know, in the beginning as we dissect these pieces and what needs to be done. I can't help anybody. I got a bunch of people new online and some here in this room. I can't help you till I blueprint you. I can't. To me, it just frustrates me if I don't know if you had a tax lien, a bankruptcy. Now, if you have a bankruptcy and it shows up, here's a problem. It's verifiable through an escrow. In the future, I'm going to probably tell you to seal your bankruptcy. Seal it. You should have did that in the first place. Nobody teaches you how. Nobody wants you to because they don't understand it. It's under the Federal Protection Act. Federal what? Protection Act. You're allowed to seal your records. Just like, you know, if someone to jail and they seal that record. You're allowed to seal the record. See, courts do not put things on credit reports. A company called Statewide does. They've been around forever. Statewide feeds the credit bureaus all the time. If you basically had it frozen, they can't verify it. And when the credit bureau says that they verified your bankruptcy or tax problem, that's a lie. Okay, I used to get in trouble because I challenged these things all the time, and I challenged them in lawsuits. Okay, I would sue someone who's lying, like the credit bureaus. We used to sue them all the time. We had 112 cases against Asperian at one time, going at one time. TransUnion and Equifax, same thing. We used to sue them because they would lie. Okay? Now, I helped one of the people I met on an airplane, American Airlines. His name was Greg Sullivan. Greg was going to law school. He ran out of money, so I sponsored him to finish. As long as when he graduated, he'd be my attorney to be able to do things for credit. And that's all we did. Okay? Credit. Now, Greg and I sued, and we're having all kinds of fun. Greg screwed up on one case. One case he screwed up on, and had to go back and say, let's withdraw the lawsuit. No, I'm going to win it. Greg, the Attorney General's office, said, you're not going to win it. Stop it. Let it go. No. Okay, no problem. From there, they disbarred him. When they tell you to do something, you damn well do it. Okay? Just like the IRS. When I used to have my book for nonprofit, it had an exemption example there. We got a nasty letter to me and Harold Stokes, my attorney at the time, to remove that out of the book. People would rip it out of the book, said sample, and turn it to the IRS with the word sample on it. It's like everywhere I get my butt kicked. Now, Greg Sullivan got disbarred because of the lawsuits, and he screwed up when he wouldn't listen to them or me. When he got disbarred, you know what he did next? Him and his sister copied one of my books and put their name on it and said, I hope you don't mind that. So what happens to you? It's like Nicholas is over there writing down, Greg Sullivan, let's do that research. I have all the articles, no problem. So again, what do we do? Nicholas is over there, he's my social media guy. And Eric, they put things together and fun stuff. But again, the person you help is going to hurt you in some cases. So again, just be prepared as you help. All right, always kind of do it as a division because someone wants to steal your stuff. Okay? So as we do this blueprint call, if you have bankruptcy, I need to know that. Okay? If you have a tax lien, I need to know that. A tax problem. There's ways to solve problem. Okay? If you mess up American Express or Chase, I have to go get a division of you to get around it. They don't forgive you. We're trying to connect dots. We're trying to put things together. So as we do that, it's like the irrevocable trust. We have probate attorneys to this day because people don't spend $30. That's why. I mean, I'm sorry, but I don't think your family left you something from generation to generation. I think you started your life from the beginning, and there was no legacy to take over. I would like to create you a legacy for your family and your kids and what you want to do. Legacy means the world to me, okay? You'll see my son on half the time on Saturday, see, I'm going to take over for daddy. He's got a corporation since he was born. All 6 kids have corporations, all have 800 plus scores, and all make plenty of money. That's a legacy, okay? All right, my son gets $1,000 on an average sometimes selling Lego stuff and, social media, whatever he does. All right, he's been gluing these things together, and unglued, you get to buy both. Would you like it glued or not glued? He became a Lego distributor. I guess grandma wants to buy one glued and unglued. Let her buy it. There you go. It's a business. So again, we need to know these things. Legacy is key. We got to plan to die. We got to plan to live. So we need an irrevocable trust. We need to protect the house with homestead. Put it in a trust. Most people, unfortunately, they buy the house under their own name. That's public record. You just told the world you own your house. I call that stupid. Okay? I buy it through a trust so they don't know it's me. The problem in the 70s, 80s, and part of the 90s, every attorney told you to name the trust after you and your family. XYZ, family living trust. Are you stupid? I don't understand stupid. You understand stupid? They can find out who you are. You connected the dots. A trust is XYZ, I don't give a damn, Inc. trust, okay? The trust cannot be name of people. And the biggest problem on trust, they don't do a resolution to take over a bank account. The dumbest thing I watched in my life. I get people, how do I get on the bank account? He didn't give me a resolution to go to the bank. It takes a irrevocable trust. It takes a death certificate and a resolution. You don't have those 3 things, you're not controlling the bank. That bank's going to hold your money forever until you go to probate. Why would you go to probate when you did it if you do it right? So again, car. You drive a car today out there and here. Should it be you or a division? Yeah, I mean, we drive through the freeway. Look at all these billboards. All these attorneys want to sue everybody. Yep. You got Morgan & Morgan. We're the largest law firm in the world. Why? You bought all the other companies. Morgan & Morgan bought other law firms to make sure they're the largest. They didn't set it up and do it. They bought the companies for marketing. And that's what they did. But again, all right, so Larry Parker passed away about 2 years ago, so God rest his soul. All right, but he was always on TV. I got him $1.2 million. I would have got him 10 to get him a Mack truck. You settle these cases. These are silly stuff. So again, house, trust. Auto income, how much do we want per month?
At least 100.
Okay, at least 100. It should be unlimited. What if today, 6 months from now, a year from now, your corporation is bringing in $500,000 a month. You live where you want to live. Your wife and family are taken care of. Everything's happening good. And you got everything you want. All right? And you don't have any desire to fight. When you have everything you want, what do? You get lazy. Okay? So you got to keep chasing the dream. If the moment you get lazy, you're going to be lazy, something's going to go wrong. And you're going to get your assets kicked. Happens to everybody all the time. We cannot get lazy. All right? But you can get everything you want. But you have to understand, the next thing you want to focus on is nonprofit. If you give back, okay, you now have a purpose. Okay? So again, when you get comfortable, we give back. All right? That could be military, it could be whatever it is. Something we can control and see it and touch it. Not just giving money to someone else. Because you don't know if they're going to get all kinds of money themselves in their pockets. So again, we got to focus on cash flow fee per time. So blueprint calls are important. So we'll go to the next slide from there. Again, cars. I like yachts. You like yachts? You ever been in a yacht? Okay. You ever want to drive it? You want to be a captain? Who owns the yacht? Who owns the yacht? Division. Who owns the helicopter? The Lamborghinis. How many divisions for the 2 Lamborghinis? 2 different ones. How about the Ferrari?
Different one.
So I have 1,013 divisions on some projects. Isn't that ridiculous?
That's awesome.
All right, it's awesome. What if I had to have 1,013 corporations at $800 a month or a year?
Burn your pockets up.
All right, there's what happens. Division process makes sense. Again, that's what we do. So again, mini coaching, go to the next one. Dissect. That building, they yelled and cussed me out. They cussed me out. I went into a building, it was bankrupt 3 times. I sat down with 3 or 4 attorneys. I said, you know, if we use the equity to leverage this and do all this and this, they cussed me out. They said, get blank out of our, you know, blah, blah, blah. 4 months later, they're on the phone. What were we talking about again? Same problem in Toll Brothers in Yorba Linda. 2,200 houses, all right? They have the lots done. The hill went bankrupt 3 times because they wouldn't get the money to do it. So you got a 6 weeks coaching. Go to the next one. We have the ability to get into different projects. Now, what I want to always do with people is understand, if you spend money, get a bonus back. I've always tried to, if they spend $1,000, let's give them $1,000 or $10,000 of credit or something. I like giving people back their money through personal business credit. It makes sense to me, okay? Because I'm always afraid they don't want to really spend the money. If they spend the money and they get something back in return, and it's money or credit, guess what we gain? So you have your 3 months, your 6 months, your 12 months coaching, and always focus that I like to give bonus back to it, okay? Go to the next one from there. What is our goal? Bridge loans. I like them, but they're a pain in the butt. Why? I will give money to 4 brokers. If it's their delay, the bank delay, or my delay, it's always something going wrong. Here's the due date. It's within that 10 days. Okay. What I had to do is take credit to keep it alive. My problem is when I had $53 million of credit, they're shrinking my limits. I had too much credit. When I loaned out the money, all right, it maintained the bill, and that's what I looked at. It's break. Is that why you're making this noise? All right, you get a 15-minute break. There's donuts and coffee out there or water. We'll be back in 15 minutes, and we'll go from there, okay? All right.